Well, we've seen the digital version of these, GameMasters here, and now it's time to dive into the physical books themselves of keys from the Golden Vault. We got our digital key to access the book from D&D Beyond, and we did that review back on February 8th. But today I just got in the physical books, and while I can't add a lot to the overall review itself from what I stated back then, what I can say is that the book itself reads much clearer than the digital version. Well, for me at least. And I gotta tell you up front, there will be some spoilers in this video when I show the table of contents. I also want to state that this is simply an honest review of the material, and while I've been vocal about Hasbro, Wizards, and the OGL issues, I'm going to leave that out of today's video. If you want to hear more about that, you can search up some of my previous videos. As I said, I just want to give you an honest review of this book. That said, I've never been a fan of digital content. I prefer to have a physical copy in my hand to read through. It just works better for my eyes. But I fully accept that your mileage may vary. That all said, let's jump into it. The first thing is the disclaimer. The Golden Vault cannot be held responsible for the infiltration of any property by burglars or any other acquisition experts, or for the purloinment of any belongings, regardless of their worth or current ownership status. The Golden Vault disavows any individuals who claim association with the organization, which is legally non-existent. Any individuals who swindle, manipulate, take advantage of, or otherwise harm innocents are subject to the Golden Vault's legally imaginary scrutiny. Here you can see the table of contents, which shows the names of the heists as well as their subsections. The first section, the introduction, ranges just 5 pages. Page 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are details about the book, how to use it. It defines what a heist is, how to plan your heist, how to execute it, and what happens if you succeed or fail. It also covers what the Golden Vault is. In essence, it's a secret organization, and more on that and what this introduction covers can be seen in my initial first look video here. The remainder of the book is all adventure, save for the very last page, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, I'd like to ask that if you're enjoying this video, to please give it a thumbs up, as it really helps me to get this spread out to more eyes, and I thank you kindly for that. The adventures themselves can be run in any order. None of them are tethered together in any way, well, other than kind of being connected through the Golden Vault secret order. But that's left up to the Dungeon Master to develop, as there really is no storyline to connect them. The book suggests that these are designed for characters that are level 1 to 11, but a DM can easily adjust the difficulty and challenge ratings to suit your table. I generally do not care much for adventure books. I've been running Dungeons & Dragons for so long that I really rarely even use adventures, mainly because my game is just one long campaign, though I have taken bits and pieces here and there from adventures to pepper into my campaign. But I will say this, if you are a new DM and are looking for adventures to help ease you into the mechanics of Dungeons & Dragons, the ones found in this book are set up fairly well. You'll get a good grasp of concepts and mechanics. One thing that the adventures don't exactly address are experience points, and I kind of like that aspect. I've seen adventures as of late that have a little blurb at the end that suggests that when the party finishes the adventure, they should advance up in level, regardless of what they have or have not accomplished. Nothing like that is listed in these adventures. I've always preferred to dole out experience based on what the players kill in terms of monsters and how they play the game. I've never been a big fan of just giving them participation experience just because they've reached the end of a chapter. One thing that Wizards finally got right in this is the very last page, and I mentioned this at the top of the video. I've been complaining that the past several books have been lacking an index, but this one, they finally added it back in. It covers what pages to find magic items on, it covers where to find specific maps, sidebars, stat blocks, and tables. Would this be a book that I'd run out and get? Personal feelings aside about Wizards at the moment, no, I wouldn't run out and buy it. Probably not at first. I'll admit that there is material in this book that I like, but I'll never use all of the adventures. But if I was a new DM, I gotta admit, I'd probably jump all over it, simply because the adventures are well-paced and presented in a fairly non-complex manner, including sidebars that actually have useful information. I also gotta admit that the collector's version of the book is pretty badass looking with its gold foiling on the cover. The book itself is 208 pages. Fellow DMs, players, adventurers, that's really all I can give you about these without jumping terribly deep into major spoiler territory. If you'd like to see a spoiler-free spoiler list of the adventures themselves, you can check out this video. In that, I cover what each heist is. Tell me what you think of this book. Is it something that you think you'll grab for your table? Let me know down in the comments, and until next our paths cross, may you have fun cruising through the index.